liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger 20.
What we do is we can take slices of those lunar rocks and look at them under a microscope. And by looking at them under a microscope, different minerals react under different types of light. And so we can then tell what the moon is made up of using those. We wouldn't necessarily have life here on the Earth had it not been for the moon. So the moon was formed nearly around the same time as the Earth was, so nearly 4.5 billion years ago. And we think that the way the moon was formed was when an object about the size of Mars smashed into the Earth, the very early Earth, I should say, and that threw lots of debris out into space. This debris collected together and eventually, just through gravity, it formed the moon. And so over time, we of course know now that the moon impacts our tides, so it creates high and low tides every single day. And our tides affect life here on the Earth.
They had been developed specifically to be able to withstand the high temperatures, the low temperatures, the blinding light, but also the astronauts had been trained to be using the right f-stops, the right apertures, and so on and so forth. Certainly, I've looked at all the Apollo photographs taken during the missions. There's 32,000 of them. They're not all that good, far from this, but fortunately the most poignant, the most moving, the ones of the really quite important moments, like Buzz Aldrin standing on the surface, are just perfect in their qualities. They pop. Most exciting perhaps of all is Buzz Aldrin's Snoopy cap, which is a nickname for the communications carrier, which if you look at any of the iconic pictures from the Apollo 11 mission, you will see him wearing this communications carrier underneath his spacesuit's helmet. We have the flight plan from the Apollo 11 mission on loan from the Science Museum here in London, in which minute by minute you have all the stages of the mission being delineated, both for Michael Collins in the command module, for Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong in the lunar module, but also for mission control in Houston. And they had to work very specifically upon the same timeline. For that reason, both the astronauts and mission control were wearing watches, Omega watches, the famous Speedmaster, which was developed specifically for the missions.